you get down the fiddle and you get down the bow. Kick off your shoes and you throw them on the floor. Dance in the kitchen till the morning light.
Oh, you've got your hair.
Saturday night. Waiting in the front yard.
And
hello and welcome to A Gypsy's Kiss. It's Humpday and I'm Shelley Carney.
In the moonlight, Louisiana Saturday night. Well, you get down the fiddle and you get down.
I'm Toby Younis. I know we're running a little bit late tonight, but we have a really good reason for it. None of which we can explain to you anyway, because it would demonetize our show.
Oh.
They call it Hump Day for a reason.
Uh-oh, guess what day it is? Julie, huh? Julie, guess what day it is? Julie, huh? Julie. Mike, what day is it, Mike? Come on, I know you can hear me. Anybody? Huh? Woo-hoo! Mike, what day is it, Mike? Anybody? Julie, huh? Julie, hey, guess what day it is? Julie, oh, come on, I know you can hear me. Mike, what day is it, Mike? Listen, guess what today is?
It's Hump Day.
Woo-hoo! Hump day, hump day, hump day.
Dang it, I don't understand why I can't hear that one. Do we need to do our Facebook thing? So give us a second so we can do this whole
I don't know if this is the right one or the wrong one from
thing.
might have been from earlier today. I'm all confused.
So go to groups, and there it is. Oh no, that's this afternoon. Sorry.
I know, right? We're wearing the same clothes, so it's
Yeah.
kind of hard to.
Well,
you know,
but you look at the
background.
background. The
The
background.
Humpday Hoedown background.
Yeah.
People are like, quit playing with your phone and talk to us already.
All right,
What
we're
kind
gonna
of
talk to you.
conversation is this?
Okay, well, you're here. Take mine because I got something to talk about first.
Talk it up, man.
Okay, so we told you, how come we're so bright? Hang on, I gotta bring the brightness.
Because we're just bright and beautiful.
We're just
All
bright.
things bright and beautiful includes us.
Let's bring that exposure to just.
Come
Bring
on,
the
work
brightness
already.
down.
What is wrong with you, phone?
Why do we have so much light on? Okay. Whew. All right, that's going to change a little bit. So, as we mentioned to you guys this afternoon, we did Shelley show, and in between Shelley show and right now,
And if you didn't see it, you missed something special. You better go back and watch it.
yeah, it'll never be monetized. I'm just.
You just got to watch your mouth, man.
So we went to dinner with a couple of really nice folks, Steve and June. I want to get their last name correct.
Jay.
So it's,
Her name
well,
was Jay.
No, her name is June. She just goes by Jay.
Oh, okay.
Okay. Steve and June Richardson, and they're from Tampa, Florida. And I'm going to put a picture up in just a second to kind of show pictures of them. But we had a really interesting dinner. We talked, of course, about the Forrest Fenn treasure. He shared one of his theories with us that deals with the not the Chama area, but the Cimarron, east of Cimarron area. And
West.
And, you know, he had done what most of us do, and he uses the numbers to get where he's doing. Now, they're not watching this show because they drove 3 hours from where they're staying in Chama down to have dinner with us, and they're driving their way back. And we left there around 5:30 so we could beat the traffic back and start getting ready for the show. So let me show you these pictures. I'm gonna switch over to, hang on, I'm gonna switch over to full screen right now. And I'm going to show you a picture of them, and then I'm going to tell you their story. So let's go over to, what the heck is that? Oh, screenshot. There it is. Okay, so great. That's our screenshot. But, okay, so this is, we went to the Range, which is one of the Range Cafe restaurant. Which is in Bernalillo. The original one is in Bernalillo, and that's Stephen and June. He has a very interesting life. He's 72 and he looks like he's 55. I don't know, he looks very young. But he's a veteran. He's disabled. He had a really interesting life, including raising racehorses, gambling in Las Vegas, and running a private detective agency. And she was also one of the members of that private detective agency. So they got interested in the Fenn treasure to the extent that they are both retired, of course, that they came out to New Mexico. He developed a solution, a theory, came out to New Mexico to test the theory. But what was really interesting about why he kept asking if we could make dinner with them, some sort of meeting with them, whether it was coffee or dinner, and we kept saying, well, not the Chama area, but the Shelley and I are together on Wednesdays and Fridays, and we've got shows to do, so it has to be between that. So they kind of went along with us and went with our time frame, but more importantly, drove the 3 hours down to visit with us. And I don't know what you should be able to see, aside from Steve and June and Shelley, is that mason jar full of treasure. So, and I've got a close-up of it. Let me give you the close-up. So that's the close-up of the jar full of treasure. And I'll post these images to our community.
This is treasure that Steve put together. He
Right.
didn't find the chest.
Yeah, he didn't find the chest. This is treasure that he's put together, and he's got several of these jars. So I'm going to come back to us now.
And he showed us this one.
And he brought this one to show us that he was serious about what he was doing. So I will post the images to our community channel so you guys can check them out later. So here's the deal. Let me go back to the dashboard so I can see what's going on. Here's the deal. He has put together several of these jars with coins in them. Now we're too blue. Ugh. All right, I'm not going to fight it tonight. So he's put together several of these jars with coins in them. He's filled them with coins. And he's made a conscious decision that he likes this treasure hunting stuff so much that he's going to take these jars of coin and he's going to spread them all over what he called the 4 treasure states: New Mexico, Colorado, Wyoming, and Montana. And he's going to do that this summer. They're going to literally just travel this summer through the 4 treasure states, hiding these jars. What's the matter?
It's just a thread on your shirt.
Thread. Thank you. Hiding them in the 4 treasure states. So
I'm just so annoyed by all these little things going on you, like threads and lunch on the face. And
it's a good thing dinner isn't all over the thing. So he's gonna, they're gonna go up and down the 4 treasure states in the Rocky Mountains, and they're gonna hide these jars with coins in them. And I asked him the question: are you going to bury them or hide them? And he said, I'm going to hide them, not bury them. He wanted to be clear about that. And I said, kind of, what areas are you going to hide them in? And he said, I'm going to hide them in the areas where people go to look for Fenn's treasure.
well, where he thinks that actually he's going to look for Fenn's treasure, and
Right.
as he's looking, if he doesn't find the treasure there, or maybe even if he did,
Yeah.
he's going to leave the jar behind as I was here. The treasure wasn't here, but there's a treasure for you now.
Right. He's not going to give him any clues. He's not going to give him any hints. He's just going to say, I've got solutions based on Fenn's writings, and I'm going to go look for the treasure in that solution area. And if I don't find the treasure, I'm going to leave one of these jars. He wouldn't tell me how many of the jars he had put together, he'd assembled together, but he said the total investment was around $10,000. So the one that I held, I couldn't estimate it because it had silver in it. It had the metal tokens that you get at in casinos that you can cash in for various amounts. So it had all these different things in it. It weighed, it was pretty hefty. I would say it right 10 or 12 pounds altogether.
I didn't pick it up.
Oh, okay. It was around 10 or 12 pounds. And so you have to take my word for it because Shelley didn't pick it up.
I'm sure you're pretty good about.
Yeah.
You've carried enough little babies around to know
Yeah,
how
exactly.
much
To know how much
10 or
they are.
12 pounds is.
It was like a 6-month-old baby. But
Oh, 6-month-old.
I don't know.
They're at least 20 pounds
Yeah,
more
they
than that.
So so he's going to do this, and the only caveat is that he's not. I said, when will we? I said, well, let's get together the next time you're around, and we'll. Talk about your progress. And he said, I'm not coming back. He said, I'm leaving here at the end of the summer, and he's not coming back till the summer of 2022, which is 3 years. So he's going to leave them in place for 3 years for anybody to find. He put a business card in each of the jars so that if you do find it, you can contact him and
You
let him know.
need to contact him because he's got something special for the finders
Right.
that he's going to give you when you contact him.
So if you find it and you contact him, there's actually some additional benefit you get by contacting him.
Sometimes things don't always fit in a jar.
He didn't say specifically what it was that he had put in there, but there was something. So that's our story. We're sticking to it. He seemed rational. He seemed sincere. And in June, his wife, their relationship reminded me of like Shelley and Toby. He was kind of the...
Because he did all the talking, and
And then
she just sat there.
And then she'd correct
Do
him.
I get a turn to talk now? No, actually, she didn't say that. She's very nice.
They were both very nice and both very interesting, and you could tell he was sincere about what he was doing, and she seemed to approve. She was okay with it. So that's what he told us. I tried to get more information, and he said, nope, here's what you know. They're going to be in the 4 treasure states. They're going to be based on where I think Fenn hid the treasure based on the poem and the book. And if I don't find it there, so Tony, there are no clues. There are no clues to his treasure. The clues are basically in Fenn's book. And his point is, if the clues in the poem and the hints in Fenn's book take you, so let's I'm just going to use this as an example. Let's say you end up on the Madison River after the confluence with a fire hole, right? Because there's a lot of people believe that's a possible theory. And he's going to put a jar in a place like that where
He didn't tell us where he was hiding
right.
them.
He didn't tell us
He didn't
where
give us any clues. He talked about his own solution, and it includes a whole bunch of stuff from the book all put together. So
Yeah.
If that's something that you do when you come up with a solution, take things out of the book. He was especially interested in the very first chapter. So if that's something that you do to figure out a solution, then you're probably pretty close to what he's doing.
Yeah. So June, they're not the bronze jars. These are mason jars. So I'm going to go back for those of you that arrived late. I'm going to go back and go back to the screenshot.
Since Tunarth asked, this is my necklace that is dichromatic. Dichroic glass. Oh, sorry, you can't see me anymore.
Hold on. Well, when I come back. So, okay. So again, for those of you that are running a little late, this is Steve and June Richardson from Tampa, Florida. That's one of the jars, and here's the close-up. So I asked him if I could take a picture of one of the jars, and I would say it was about 7 or 8 inches high mason jar.
Yeah, it's a good size one, like you would.
Hang on, let me get you back to live stream. Hold on, so you can use your hands.
Like at Christmas time when you put the cookie dough together and you give it as a gift.
And so
Big mason jar.
the only clues, so basically the only clues are the clues in the poem, in Fenn's poem, and the hints are in the book. And if you follow those and you come up with a theory about where Fenn hid his treasure and you go there, you may not find Fenn's treasure, but you may find one of these jars of coins that Steve and June left behind.
And some of
Okay?
them are poker chips or something?
It was some of their poker, they are poker chips, but they have value. They're metal poker chips that actually have value. You have to cash them at the respective casino. So,
Okay.
and yeah, for those of you who are saying they look like Mexican coins, those are actually the poker chips, the metal poker chips that have value. Okay?
And
So-
this is a necklace that's made of glass, layered glass.
Dichroic.
Dichroic, and then it's fused. And Toby got it for me at the
Rail Yards Market.
Yeah, so that's my story, and
I'm sticking to it.
Toby told half of it. So thank you. I'm glad you like it. It's yeah. I
So how
have
are
a
you
few of
doing
them.
tonight, Miss Shelley? Did you have a good dinner?
I did. It was lovely.
Had a great time.
Yeah, and we had a good show. For those of you who were there at the show today, I appreciate that. And for those of you who weren't, you missed out on all the secrets I told about Toby. So better go back and watch it. And make sure you subscribe, because we'll be back again on Friday.
So I am not hearing your anything here.
My anything.
Housekeeping,
I'm not
you
hearing my
want towel?
buttons here.
I hear
Ugh.
it. I hear it. So you just too low or something. Oh, I couldn't hear you.
Housekeeping, you want towel?
Is that good? Did you fix it?
Housekeeping, you want towel?
Housekeeping, you want to tell us what I was going to play? I'm going to come back and play it. Did you hear your song?
Yeah.
You
I just
did?
talked over it because I was like, why just sit here? I can tell you a
couldn't I hear
story.
it? All right.
I heard it.
I'm getting used to this new mixer, and it's not hanky. It's just
It's just Toby.
it has its things, right? So you do want towels. Make sure that before you leave tonight, you do us the favor of liking our video, because YouTube likes it when you like our video. Share our video.
We like it when you like our video.
We like it when we do. Share our video with your family members, your friends, your neighbors, your business associates, and the people in your social network, so that we can continue to
Grow.
our channel. And then finally, if you're not already a subscriber, this would be a grand time to subscribe by clicking the subscribe button. And when the notifications bell comes up, click on that notifications bell, and that way every time we start a live stream or we schedule a live stream, you will be immediately informed and
in the know.
in the know. Es muy importante to be in the know.
Sí, en la cabeza.
En la cabeza. En la cabeza. Okay, so plan
Muy
for tonight.
esmerto.
So you want to talk about how they reach out to us?
Reach out and touch someone. So yeah. Greg Keller, the well-known moderator who is packing for his boots on the ground trip as we speak, is also in the room, and he has demonstrated several times how to do the @ sign, a Gypsy's Kiss, so that it highlights in orange for us, so
There you
we
go.
are less likely to miss it. We are old and have poor eyesight, so we do our best. Feel sorry for us. Anyway, also, there's a stylized $ at the bottom of the chat, which you're welcome to click on and do a super chat donation, which will put your comment or question in a beautiful box, and everybody will pay attention to it, and we'll play the ka-ching sound and ring the bell and make a big deal, and you know, whatever you need at that point to feel good, because we want you to feel good. That's why we're here.
So, Greg said he's flying out at 6:15 Eastern Standard Time tomorrow.
That's right.
Nice.
The O early. See, Alan Kay has demonstrated the ka-ching right there. A little cowbell for him for being our first Super Chat Challenger tonight with a 99-cent blue box. Thank you, Alan. And if you have any questions or comments to go with that, let us know. Otherwise, please text us at this number here, 866-597-9901, or you can email us at agypsieskiss@gmail.com. There it is, going across the screen. And you can also leave a voicemail, or when the phones open up tonight, you can call us live.
And send it. Did you say send a text? You can text us, yeah.
Text.
So, and we'll open up the phone lines. Been the first. We're going to go through mails. Then we'll come back and say hi to the room, and then what else? We'll do texts, and then we'll open the phone lines.
Yep.
We don't have a lot of texts, but we do have some emails.
We told you our story
because they're
about
well
dinner.
written. We had a great story.
Dinner
We
story.
had a great dinner
time story.
with those guys. They were very
Yeah.
kind, and
They took us to one of our very favorite restaurants.
my only regret was that we couldn't spend more time with them, because
Yeah, we had
they
a
were
good time.
such nice people.
Yeah.
Okay, you want to go first?
Surely I will. And don't call you Shirley, I know. Right?
Don't call me Shirley.
Don't call you Shirley. Where's our video?
Email video coming up. What up? So it's playing there. I don't know.
Oh, no. Hey, if you guys don't hear the sound of some of these videos, let us know, because sometimes we're not too sure what's happening. Where's Cynthia? Cynthia's at home. At home.
Hopefully watching.
Taking care of
And
her
she's
pup
not
dog.
surprised. She promised. So she told us last night, she was over for cocktails and conversation. She told us last night that she won't be ready to talk until after
Her next trip.
boots on the ground.
Yeah.
And she'll come back after she's staying for
She'll be up there for
function
in
in the junction.
Yeah.
And that's the weekend at the 20th, I think.
Yeah.
Go.
All right. So this one's called Moving My Find Date Up. And this is from Anonymous Searcher. I said late June or early July. Moving it up to this weekend. All right, good for you. Not sure if I'll announce right away, though. All right. Again, I don't want to give my real name at this point, but my handle on Thor is Anonymous Searcher. We gotcha. We will take care of that, moving you to this weekend. $2 from Cynthia for more olives.
So we did one
you
of the
some
things. I
olives.
served some olives, but I also served an olive tapenade so that you could spread.
Maybe
on
you
the
should have
roll.
martinis if she likes olives so much.
Yeah. And we made her margaritas.
We should play her margarita
She
song.
likes that. We should right now. Let's
Yeah.
wait till later. Wait till later.
Oh no, we can't play
Okay.
twice. I got to write stuff down anyway.
Okay.
Wasted away again in Margaritaville,
Now I hear that.
searching for my lost shaker of salt.
Oh
And
yeah,
you're-
he was in July, so we're moving him up to June.
Who's that?
Anonymous Searcher.
Oh, okay. Wow. So he changed his travel plans?
Apparently,
Oh, okay.
he's got
So
to get there
This
before
is
it's gone.
from Indian. Oh, this is from Toby Fan 3000, one of our moderators. John Warner, Indian Trail Blazing. He said, found this interesting. How Native Americans would mark trail blaze a tree, and he gave me a link. The link is in the description box below, and it will take you to there. Let me show it to you. Right. So these trees have secret Native American codes. Their meaning brilliant. It's a really interesting story. So please take a moment. Like I said, the link is in the description box below, and that was provided to us by Toby Fan 3000, John Warner. So thank you for that, John. We appreciate it.
Another one of our indomitable moderators.
Indomitable.
Is that what you call?
It's
Why am I not being able to think of words? Was there garlic in my food today? Okay, this email says thank you. It's from Frank Brousseau. Hi, Toby and Shelley. Just wanted to say thank you so much for your help in getting the painting to Forrest Fenn. I also want to extend my thanks to Cynthia for her part. While I don't know her, I hope there is some way you could relay my thanks to her. Thank you, Cynthia.
and
I
she's
would-
in the room, so
Yeah.
she got that.
I would like to send you something and wondering if you could relay your UPS store address. Thanks again, Frank.
Frank, the UPS store, our UPS store address is in the bottom, is in the description box below every one of our videos, so you can check it there.
Just look in the description
Yeah,
box and
it'll
you'll
be
find
there.
their
Thank you. You
address.
don't have to send us a gift. So Robert Zielinski is asking, was it Robert? He said, a Gypsy's Kiss, any update from Budweiser Ninning?
I think Budweiser was in the room this afternoon. He might be here now.
Yeah, well, if he was in the room this afternoon, he was relatively reserved, so I guess he
Well, he
didn't
was
find
at the
it.
very end after we
Oh, okay.
signed off.
Yeah.
He just said,
Hello. So, yeah, other than that, we haven't heard from him any more than anyone else has.
yeah.
Okay?
Where's
was
he
like
at?
doing
Is
that.
he like on
He
boots on the
went,
ground
no,
or something?
he said last week, he said he was going on the boots on the ground this coming weekend,
Oh.
meaning the weekend that just passed.
Oh.
So we need some feedback from there,
I
because that's
see.
his second try
Well, he's apparently okay if he was in the chat room earlier
this
today.
afternoon. Yeah.
So,
Simple email question from Jasisk,
Jim.
J-A-Sisk.
Jim.
Oh, Jim.
Can't read.
Jim Sisk. What email address do I use to contact Mr. Fenn? I need to email him 10 words that will make his jaw drop. Thank you, Jim in Arkansas.
That sounds like clickbait to me.
I have kidnapped your puppy, Willie, and he is in... No, too many words. Okay, his email address, Jim, is forrestfenn@gmail.com. Do not be bothered or hurt if he doesn't reply.
And that's 2 R's in Forest and 2 N's in Finn.
Right.
All right, this is called A Fresh Perspective. 2 question marks, that's why I'd really get it up there high. And this is from Joseph S. Joe S. I'm not sure if it's
Is that
the
our
Joe
Joe
S.
S?
I don't know for sure.
Oh, okay.
Well, maybe we'll see. Toby and Shelley. Just last weekend, 5/26/2019, was the first I had heard about Mr. Fenn's treasure. Oh, so probably not then. If
No,
this guy's just
no, this
finding
guy's
out
new.
about it, then he's not our Joe S. Okay. The first I had heard about Mr. Fenn's treasure, poem, books, etc. It was a rerun on Discovery Channel. Of course, I found the story interesting, and I searched around the internet to see what this was about. I really enjoy your videos and perspectives. I highly doubt that I have a fresh perspective, but wanted to share my thoughts anyway. When I read Mr. Fenn's poem, Closing My Eyes, the picture that he paints, just focusing on stanzas 2 and 3, for me is, I start at water at the top of a canyon and I head down the canyon a ways before heading into the woods. From there, I head back up the creek until I can't go any further. I think my favorite line is just heavy loads and water high. And when I open my eyes, I'm standing at the base of a waterfall. When I throw out all the confusing stuff where I make crazy assumptions, I end up at a waterfall looking for the blaze. So, is where warm waters halt the calm water before going over the waterfall? Possibly. It seems very Fennian, as you said before, to begin it and cease at the same location on a 2D aerial map. Would also fit the T.S. Eliot quote. There is also the going back in time as well. For me, I'd start in New Mexico. According to this article, and he gives a link, New Mexico Magazine, Waterfall Hunter.
Oh, that's that guy that has the webpage where he goes searching for waterfalls all over New Mexico.
Right.
I'll dig that up.
Doug Scott, the waterfall hunter,
Right.
says there are hidden falls all around the state and more than he can find in his lifetime. In the article, he also uses a good map to locate potential waterfall sites. I'm sure there are many waterfalls off the beaten path throughout all the Rockies if someone believes it is elsewhere. I live in Western New York, and I can tell you I'll never take a trip to look for that treasure. I have not read The Thrill of the Chase, but plan on getting it to read for fun. This is a very interesting story. I wish you guys the best of luck in your search and stay safe. Any thoughts, comments on my 6-day waterfall first impression with your 6+ years of study? Hopefully this isn't too long. Did my best to keep it short. By the way, with my eyes closed again, on the left side of that waterfall is the blaze. I really hope it's made by Mr. Fenn himself, a rock carving, his own headstone, something that is unique to say he was here. Joe. P.S. People seem obsessed with every word Mr. Fenn has ever said, interviews, etc., and he admits that only 85% of what he writes or says is truly accurate. When I hear this, I'm only going to focus on 15% of what he says, or maybe less. P.S. again. There are only 4 or so clues from put in to the blaze, and the second is you're getting close, so I wouldn't go through miles and miles of backcountry unless you just want an adventure. And there you have it.
So, Kevin's in the room saying hi.
Hi, honey.
So I'm going to share. So for those of you that don't know who Doug Scott is, he's actually an artist, but he has a thing for waterfalls, and he set up a web page. So I'm gonna do a screenshot of that. So this is at DougScottArt.com. The website is called New Mexico Waterfalls, and what he's done is he's put a map up there that has a graph that's got a graph overlaid on it, a grid overlaid on it by number and by letter, and then down below he has references to the numbers and the letters. So if you go to C9, you'll find the South Fork, Casa Falls, etc., etc. So it's very handy if you think that A, you're in New Mexico, your solution, your theory is in New Mexico, and B, if you believe that it might be associated with a waterfall, go to Doug Scott Art, and you will. He has identified all the credible waterfalls in New Mexico. So it's a pretty interesting guy. He also has, if you look on YouTube, he has some videos of them exploring some of these waterfall areas, including one real good video of the Toltec Gorge that he and his friends kind of floated down. I don't know, they didn't do it on a raft. They wear Class 1 life preservers, and they just float down. And if I remember correctly, the video that he made was during the spring thaw. And the Toltec Gorge runs pretty high and heavy during the spring thaw, but it was one of the areas that he went into, and you get a view of all the waterfalls that are in the Toltec Gorge. So, Doug Scott, interesting guy. New Mexico waterfalls. DougScottArt.com. So we got another letter while we were talking. Would you grab that one real quick? Thank you. This is from Tony Russi, one of our regulars in the room. He says, is the chase an addiction? On.
Sean Martinez. Hello from Clovis. You're close, Toby.
That whole Toltec Gorge thing, huh? This is from Tony Russi, one of our regulars. He says, is the chase an addiction or an inspiration to create paradise? Ooh, both, I hope. So many people have gone right past it, within 500 feet. It's kind of like poker. Is contentment money, fame, and power, or a long and happy life together with your soulmate and your family? What is best in life, Conan? Oh, that's interesting. Tony answers Conan's question with, I'd be happy if I made no woman cry again in my life. I wish my grandfather hadn't died of cancer when I was 9. He was only 54. Besides, no parental units going to my baseball games because he was dying. I would have liked to have learned how to fly fish from him. I'd love to learn how to fly fish from Forrest Fenn in exchange for the bracelet. Ooh, good deal. Now I am 60. If I became a vegan, I bet I could live to be 120. I'd love to build an Earth ship to live in. I'd love to turn the entire Earth into a wildlife preserve like Yellowstone, but with Earth ship for the people still on Earth to live in. I'd love to work for SpaceX and design Mars rockets. I'd love to help Dr. Slow design and build plasma sail drive, along with Dr. Zubrin's dipole driven for steering and braking for Elon Musk's Starship to Mars. With these advanced propulsion systems, we could be sending SpaceX starships with hundreds of colonists to Mars in just a week. We could be traveling to asteroids 16 Psyche in the main asteroid belt in just 2 weeks. We could be bringing 50 metric tons of platinum group metals back to Earth every week from 16 Psyche. Oh, that's that asteroid. As a byproduct of iron nickel mining its naked metallic core. We could move all industry into space and turn the Earth into a park. Our quality of life is only limited by our imagination. Tony Russi. Inspiring moment for Tony, huh?
Okay. And
Your turn.
let's see, who said it? Tom Sawyer. Vegans eat unhealthy. Some vegans do, but you're right about eat a whole foods plant-based diet. That is, if you talk to the longevity experts and the biohackers, they agree with that. Okay.
And that's not Whole Foods as in Amazon grocery store. That's Whole Foods as in complete foods.
Well, it's also like foods you buy and cook and not just processed packaged stuff.
Robert Zielinski, A Gypsy's Kiss. Can we change Shelley's song to Witchy Woman by the Eagles? I happen to love the Eagles.
What do you mean
but
witchy woman?
No, she's not a witchy woman. She's
I'm precious.
she's
Now, can you hear it? All right.
That's better for Shelley than Witchy Woman.
This is called Painting by Chris Dotson. Thanks for mentioning my painting and my name. I'm getting closer to the treasure. Just recently figured out a few more things to get me closer. I'm politely telling you, though, whether you believe me or not, you'll find out one day. There are confirmers, and I've found a few, I promise. So on that note, thank you once again. Sorry, I don't chat. I'm not a chatter. Chris.
I'm not a chatter. So I'm gonna show you that picture. It's a picture that Chris painted, and it's on eBay. And I don't know if it's I think it's an auction as opposed to a buy it now. That was a picture that Chris painted of Forrest Fenn, and you can buy, if you're interested in purchasing that painting, you can buy it on eBay. Look up Chris Dotson, Dotson.
And his first name is Chris, no H.
Krabby Poo from Jason Barlow. Sorry, okay. That's what it says.
I see it.
Krabby Poo. Hey gang, thanks for the content you provide. Quick question. Has anyone other than me noted the owners of the bookstore with the exclusive rights to sell Forrest Fenn's books present with a rather unfortunate sourness towards chasers of the Fenn treasure? Okay, so this is a sensitive subject, but I'm going to read this anyway. I called up there once and I was shocked at how snippy and rude those folks are. It was a few years back, so I've lost the precise phrasing, but I remember them letting me know in no uncertain terms that they weren't thrilled with the treasure hunters in general and that they didn't like to receive calls from us. I wish Forrest had chosen a proprietor with a bit more sunshine in their soul, as cheerfulness and spiritual connected as some treasure hunt cultures can be. I feel like the key of the kingdom fell into the hands of a rather wretched crew. I know they must be getting inundated with Fenn searchers, but aren't they in the business of selling books? Surely they could act a bit more grateful for being handed this thing by Forrest and at least make an effort to keep a lid on the crabby vibes.
Krabby Poo.
Krabby Poo, best and happy hunting. I found the indulgence back in March. Turns out it was just behind an old outhouse, not associated with it in any way. Still trying to clean the thing up before I go public. Krabby Poo.
Poo.
So,
That's
okay.
the poo part of the Krabby
So
Poo.
we have a funny little relationship with the folks at Collected Works, and it's that way because we have to go in there and do live streams, and they don't like us using their wireless to do it, but we negotiate, etc., etc. So part of that is Dorothy, the owner of the bookstore, is tough. She's a tough old person, right? She's been through a lot.
Survived cancer.
She's survived cancer. She's trying to keep a bookstore alive in the age of
Amazon
and big box bookstores that aren't competing with Amazon. They do sell a broad variety of books, and I think the problem is that early on in the chase, the searchers that were going in there or contacting them just left a really bad taste in their mouth. And part of it was the reason, if you go to the store and ask for the thrill of the chase, they have to go in the back to get it.
They keep them behind the counter because they had a lot of them stolen
They
off
were
the
stolen.
shelves.
Right, they were stolen off the shelves. And as were the other books. So none of the Forrest Fenn books can be found on the shelves. You have to ask for them. But in addition to that, they get dozens of calls a day about the Forrest Fenn books, some of which buy books. Some of the people buy and order books and then complain about the cost of shipping. But I think part of what you experience, and we've experienced it, they know our faces. So when we go in there, they generally, Dorothy and the co-owner, I can't remember her name, Charlotte, Joyce, do you remember?
I don't remember either.
Will treat us very nicely, but if the other employees don't know us, and we ask something about the Fenn, there's a definite change, change to the shut you down. So I think part of what you experience when you go in there is the fact that their experiences with searchers, and I'm not saying everyone this way, hasn't been very rewarding for them. It's been very negative, and they've picked up on that. And it seems to fuse itself kind of from Dorothy down. They always feel like they're being imposed upon while they're trying to run a business. And you know how searchers can be very, what's the word that I'm looking for? Obsessive about this search, right? we tend to be very obsessive, and nothing else is as important as the search, and et cetera, and they just picked up on that vibe. And I think the result is they tend to treat everyone in the search as if we were just one personality. So the only thing I can suggest is if you go in the store, be as polite as you can and make the trip as short as you can. And
know that the books are behind the counter and you have
Right.
to ask for them.
You have to ask for them, and buy something else besides a Forrest Fenn book,
And
So-
if you want it signed, you need to let them know. Forrest does occasionally go in and sign some of the copies of the books.
Right.
So it is possible. And if you call in advance and let them know you're coming and would like to buy a signed copy, that could ease the process as well.
Right, and if you don't want to contact them, you can get on their site. You can order Forrest books via the mail, and it'll be shipped to you for list price plus a $12 shipping cost. Right, so don't be upset. They've put up with a lot over the past
Yeah.
9 years. I mean,
Yeah.
they've been at this for 9 years. They never imagined. I don't think they imagined that it was going to explode as it did in 2014. I don't think they imagined it any more than Fenn imagined it. So they're dealing with that too. So, and I think the problem with the thought that Dorothy needs to chill out is she's past the age where she thinks she needs to chill out.
She's actually been really nice to us the last few times we were in there.
Yeah.
So anyway, moving on. I changed my perspective from Scott Cleary. I have had many ideas of a starting point with where warm waters halt, but I have focused in on a particular place that has been mentioned by many others as a starting place. I cleared all of my hundreds of yellow Google Earth pins, all because I asked my 5-year-old granddaughter this question: where does warm waters halt? Her answer threw me as she belted out, where warm waters salt. I could never figure out why Fenn said waters, so I started searching where warm waters salt, and Google took me to Glenwood Springs Company. You can Google it and see the Indians called the hot, salty spring Yampa, or Big Medicine, where Fenn would have gone when he was diagnosed with terminal disease, just like Doc Holliday and many others did. I won't go into all that I have found so far, but I'll say that I don't think there is any way these things that I found so far could be a coincidence. Hint, think inside the box. Wichita 6.
Wichita 6. Okay, this is from DB 900.
DB Cooper?
No, it just says DB. It could be DB Cooper. So it says the subject line is your latest hypothesis. He said, "Hi, Toby and Shelley. Thank you for the great show. Is your latest hypothesis that the treasure is hidden near Toltec Gorge in New Mexico?" The last theory that we explored was an area just west of the Toltec Gorge. If you had gone another 100 feet, you would then be in the Toltec Gorge. We don't think it's in the Toltec Gorge because an 80-year-old man would have trouble.
We couldn't get in through there.
Yeah,
I don't know
yeah.
how he would.
So,
We didn't even send a
that
reporter in there.
Yeah, it's east of our theory is east of the Toltec Gorge. That's all I got. You got anything else?
One more.
Okay, go.
Poem solved and leads to location. Boots on the ground tomorrow from Great One.
What date is that? Sunday, June 2nd. So he's already been boots on the ground.
Aha.
He or she.
Everybody has definitely overcooked the poem, like Fenn said, trying to get meanings out of certain things that aren't there, necessary, or intended by Forrest. I'm not trying to sound arrogant, but I just started looking at the poem on Friday afternoon, and I solved it by Saturday night. What's wrong with all you people? Keep it simple. I wish I knew about this treasure hunt years ago. I'm going to be shocked if somebody hasn't beat me to it. Only Fenn knows, I guess, or the person that found it hasn't told anybody. There's a lot of legality that comes with this treasure, so they may never say a word. The book isn't even needed, although I did understand a few things better from a few YouTube vlogs from different people that I watched on Friday night. They quoted things from his book, and I understood the path a little better based off those subtle things. Not that it changed the path, though, just a clearer picture. I don't have the book, but I'm looking forward to reading it now, though. I had the first 2 stanzas figured out Friday and the remaining by Saturday evening. I followed what it said. I started getting goosebumps, and when everything started falling into place, my adrenaline was through the roof. I couldn't book that flight fast enough. The poem definitely brings you to the title of the gold. From there, the journey still continues a short distance, not too far, but too far to walk. That's the only clue I'll give for now until I get my hands on it, if somebody hasn't already found it. I have a flight booked this morning. I'm on the East Coast. Once I get... Hey, is this from you, Greg Keller? I'm on the East Coast. Once I get the treasure in hand, I'll post a picture for verification. Man, that Fenn, he is a character. He did a great job being an architect to the poem. It was fun to solve and takes some wit. I can't wait to meet him in person. Sincerely, the chase is on.
I'm sorry, that deserves a rooster.
Yeah, I think so.
Was definitely rooster material there. I don't mean to sound arrogant, but I know where the treasure is.
And I figured it out in 2 days. What's wrong with you people? It's so simple.
Yeah, exactly. Okay, that's all the emails? That's all?
That's
Did
it.
you read all yours? I got
That
all mine.
is it.
We have done, oh, I want to throw that way. Hand me your emails, please,
Hand you my
so I
emails.
can add them to my stack over here.
Oh, wait a second. I got this one and these, those, some of that, some of this. All right.
So, no crazy emails this week. That's
Well, let's take a look at our
progress.
searcher list. So I don't know about Davio. We have not seen
Wait a minute,
him
he hasn't been in today.
today, so he may be out looking for the treasure as we speak. I don't know. Davio, if you guys know where he is, or if Davio, if you're in the room, let us know. Belle Walker, did you go looking in May and what happened? Clayton Watson, did you go looking in May and what happened? And Bird, did you go looking in May and what happened? We know that Cynthia went. She got to her spot, but she needs to go back and look some more. Mr. T has moved his search to June, and Rudy Green went, but there was too much snow. And Robert Nenig, or Budweiser Nenig as he's now known, did his walk of shame, and he's going to try again sometime, but we don't know when. All right.
So we got a whole list
So
of
that was
Junes.
May. Now let's read the June list.
Just read them, yeah.
Yeah. So Cynthia's back to June now. Mr. T's going in June. And Anonymous Searcher will be going in June. Along with those three, we have Sheila Draper, John Edo, S.J. Kent, Evan Penn, Jana Minnesota, Jeff Anschultz, Christy and Mike, that's K-Pro and Cal Lasers, CMC, Mark Connor, Mitzi Moore, Denise Baker, William Goswick, Treasure Finder, J.A. Street, Rudy Green, he's going back in June, I guess, okay, Gary Barber, and Copper Dan. Okay, you people, make sure we are kept apprised of when you go boots on the ground, how your search went, and if you decide you're going to move out of June into a different month. We got a super chat from Drawing Nigh. Denise Baker is now drawing nigh, going on June 23rd.
I think she's already in there.
I do have
Yeah.
Denise Baker for
Okay.
June, yes.
Got it. Okay, let's see how far back
Oh,
I
I'm
can
going
go.
to change it to Drawing Nigh, though.
Okay.
All right. Denise
I
Baker.
can only go back to 7:31. What time did we start? We started at 7, right?
Uh-huh.
Hang on. Let me see if I can go further back on Restream IO. 1926. Nope.
Oh,
So where can you go back to here?
well, I don't know. Well, let's find out. What's inside the box? I doubt that I'm going to be able to get any further back than you.
All right.
So if you want to get started while I keep flipping.
You mean get started with the hellos?
Yeah, did you play the video?
I didn't, but I will.
Hello from the other side.
Okay, how far back did you get?
1932 or 732.
I'm at 1928 on here.
All right. You can start.
So we want to say hello to you folks in the room, starting with Wayne Ross. It's just popped up. Robert Zielinski. Oh, not only that, it's losing it. As I said, time. Robert Zielinski.
Read faster.
K-Pro's in the room. Yes. And
right.
Cynthia's in the room as well. So we'll do that twice.
And she deserves.
Searching for my lost shaker of salt.
So, Juli, I got your message, just haven't had time to do it. So, but Sean Martinez is in the room. So the guy that we talked to today, Steve, was former police detective and former private detective, kind of like you, Sean, except you're still a private detective. So George is in the room. Ab Ord, he's a newbie, he says, claims to be a newbie, although he has
He has boots on the ground. I don't know if he's a newbie anymore.
Mitzi, hi Mitzi. William's in the room. Hey, William. Wayne Ross is in the room. Imagination of Innocence says, everything you need to know about where warm water's halt on page 146. I will show you, and guess what? And I will show you the confirmations too. So, come find me. See you soon. Okay. All right. Let's see. Toby Fan 3000, one of our moderators, is in the room, which is good to have your moderators in the room. I said, Give me truth. Hey, give me truth. Haven't seen you. Sassy 1962, our friend that found the David Blaine treasure in the room. We said hi to Greg Keller already. William, Mr. Anonymous. Didn't we read a message from Mr. Anonymous? What do we have from Mr. Anonymous?
Yeah.
To North. Hail to North. Admitting to Mitzi that he's a male, but I seriously doubt you want to see me revealed. Ooh, sounds interesting. Hey, Ab,
Mitzi
George.
has a song.
23
Oh,
Monarchas in the room. We played Mitzi's.
Yeah, you should forget it. Monarcha.
Tony Driver and Jungle Cruiser are also in the room. Meek
No More.
Meek No More. Oh. 100K, I dare a bear, says Mitzi. Yeah, that doesn't surprise me.
Yeah.
Who, William, let's see, on board. Have you caught up? Have I caught
Do you
up
know
to you? There you go.
Hewitt's, Sean Martinez. We have, and lots of Ross B. AJ Rainville. Joe S. is here. He's got a song.
Don't go around tonight. Well, it's bound to take your life. There's a bad moon on the rise.
All right. Tom Sawyer, Missouri Dave, Tony Driver, Copper Dan.
Where's Copper Dave?
Copper Dan says, hey, roomies.
Oh, by the way, it is pronounced Headbloom.
Oh, is it
Yeah, it's an even though it only has one O.
Oh, maybe
Copper
there's
Dan,
an umlaut they forgot to put on there.
He wrote us a comment about that was his father, and it is pronounced Bloom.
Oh,
Headbloom.
okay. Good to know.
Good to know.
Robert Zielinski. You could fill in the spaces when I'm looking.
Okay.
Jonah, 1777. Dick Dastardly.
You say hello to Missouri Dave, Ross B. I'm just going to answer while you're doing that. I'm going to see if I can find some questions to answer.
Alrighty. Well, here's a question from Sean Martinez. What did the horse say to the lightning?
Now, what did the horse say to the... I don't know. Wait, let me see. One horse, lightning. I don't know. What did the horse say to the lightning, Sean Martinez? Oh, I just got that one. Robert Zielinski says, "A Gypsy's Kiss, it's a good song. I meant it with all due respect."
Oh,
Witchy woman. Yeah. We were not offended. But I like my song for Shelley.
Yeah. I'll let Toby pick it out.
Let's see.
Bloop bop. Bloop bop.
Bloops in the
Boop,
room.
baby, bloop,
Just because
bop.
some have been within about 200 feet, it does not mean nobody has been within a whisper distance.
William Goswick, I think I said that.
Yeah.
Chris Kibble.
It
Kibble or
says,
is it Kibby?
Toby,
Kibby.
it's in New Mexico. I have proof. William, you are preaching to the choir. We believe it's in New Mexico as well. But there are many that do not. Hail to North. I like to know.
Charles Clement. Davio is off the grid. Okay. William,
Oh, so maybe he is searching. Huh?
William Brown. Is it? Did you put in behind your house, William?
William Brown. I still like Homer Brown. That's a Homer Brown.
Bloop bop. J.M. Calhoun.
Of the famous Calhoun family.
And he said he had a positive experience at Collected Works.
Yeah, I have never had a bad experience at Collected Works. The only time I got into trouble with Dorothy is one time she let us use her wireless system and it took it down. Boy, she was upset about that. But other than that, we're okay with them. You know.
We have Alan Kay, Man in the Park. James David.
I'm trying to catch up. Okay, well, okay.
I'm at 743.
I got it. I
Craig
was
Carter.
I'm looking for questions.
Did you get Craig Carter?
I didn't get Craig Carter.
It's my life, it's now or never. And I ain't gonna live forever.
Massimo has a question at 744. You seen that?
I must have passed it. Massimo, Gypsy Kiss. Hey guys, I have a question about the BLM New Mexico map. Besides private land and tribal land, what other types of land could possibly be an issue? So you said tribal and private. We think those are issues. We believe National Park Service properties like monuments. There's 21 or 22 different kinds of properties that are administered by the National Park Service. So we think those could be an issue. And the only other one you have to be cautious with are state administered lands, state parks, and state forests. The state forests are pretty open like the national forests are, but what we've discovered about the state forests is that every one of them interprets the law differently. You got to ask in advance and the other thing too is the state forest rules in New Mexico are substantially different from the state forest rules. Yeah, I can fly a drone in a New Mexico state, on New Mexico state lands. I can't in Colorado. So if it's a state property, make sure you check with the administrators of that property. So Sean just keeps asking, what does a horse say? He says, I don't know. Did he answer?
Not that I've gotten to yet.
Oh, okay, all right.
BKS says, bookstore was pretty nice to me, and I was probably an annoying customer.
BKS. Isn't that the name of that? BKS.
Dick Dastardly says 10,200 plus 5,000 divided by 2 equals 7,600 feet equals the distance from where warm waters halt to the treasure, not just the altitude.
7,600 feet. That's over a mile and a half. So, mile and a half is possible. You could do that in the afternoon. You could do the 4 trips that he did in the afternoon. But Sean Martinez, that is a dad joke. Did he answer it?
I don't know. I didn't
okay.
see the
Sean
answer.
Martinez, wait. There was
Digital
a
Treasure Maps is here. Belva Jenkins from Chattanooga.
Chattanooga. Yeah, that one deserved a rooster, didn't it, Sassy? Okay. What did the horse... Sean Martinez, I need an answer to that question. Oh, I gotta read it. Okay, I'm going to
Journeyman says, can we offer a small reward for filming their walks of shame? Would make great content.
Yeah, it would be just people coming back and having a short interview. Hi, Dave, you've been out for an entire day, boots on the ground, and I can see that the treasure isn't in your backpack, so how do you feel now? Ouch.
Somebody got there first.
Yeah, somebody got there first. Forrest, I think Forrest came and got it.
Yeah.
Now let us have it.
GL
Copper Dan
Cannon.
says Collective Works. It's a socialist bookstore. Collective Works has been very nice to me. No complaints. Yeah, it just depends. Sometimes it depends on the guy, the person behind.
Day of the week, who knows?
Yeah.
Where the moon is, when the moon is in the 7th house. And Jupiter's
Robert
in-
Zielinski says, he's talking to Susie Fenn. I loved you. I loved when you were on AGK and said, I'm going to crack a beer open for this. That was cute. That really was cute.
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Did you get everything?
Any others? I think so.
I didn't see anything. Evelyn Curie.
Did
Curie or Curie?
Did Sean Martinez ever answer that question? Because
I haven't seen it. Did anybody see it? Did anybody know
what did the
answer?
horse say to the lightning? Does anybody know what the horse? Horse. Does anybody know what the horse said to the lightning? Said to lightning.
We also have John Arter. John Arter. It's a new name.
Susie's in the room.
Beer good.
Beer, good. Me like beer. That sounds like Tenorth. Huh? Maybe drink ale.
I was going to say it sounds like Brett Kavanaugh, but okay. Ice cream
Ouch.
searchers here.
Ouch. Ow. No politics. Let's keep it out of the politics.
He said it on TV. I didn't make him say it.
All right. So let's see. We got some text messages. So let's do. We did the emails. Let's go see what we got in the way of texts. Voicemail. Let's do voicemails. Let's see. And it's on.
Did you unplug it?
I must have. No, I'm hearing it in my headset. Hold on.
No, you're hearing it from the phone. The phone is not hooked up.
Oh, okay. Let me do that real quick.
Hey, did you guys want to actually hear this, or should we just listen to it ourselves?
Okay. Oh, so much to do. So much to do for an old man who should just be sitting back in his slippers and his jammies with a nice glass of wine watching the news. Okay, ready?
I just got a whole bunch of more names.
Hey guys, love your show. I'm Kyle McDonald from North Carolina, and I believe Finn's treasure will probably be discovered within the next 18 months. I think this because there are a lot of new eyes, fresh eyes taking a look at this, and me being one of them, I can tell you from my point of view that I believe that Home of the Brown and Blaze are two in the same thing. They both are referring to the same thing. That's all I'm going to say about it. I plan on taking a trip out y'all's way pretty soon. Thank you.
Jerry Harris wants us to answer Mr. Anonymous's question, but I didn't see it. So, Mr. Anonymous, where was your question?
So it's a, let me see. Mr. Anonymous. Yeah, guys, Mr. Anonymous, if you could repeat the question. Sorry, we didn't see it when you, but precede your question, guys. That's why it's important for you guys
Well,
to.
it doesn't always work, see, because look, Deep Thinker did it and it didn't light up. Robert Zielinski did it and it didn't light up. If we don't see it, you can always text it to us.
Yeah,
That always works.
that works. Text the question
We don't
to
miss texts. We do sometimes miss stuff in the chat room.
text your question to 866-597-9901 and we'll get to it. I
Yeah.
promise.
Tim Walker, Deep Thinker,
So this is from
Virginia Man,
907.
Steve Klein.
Well, I found its location. I got the ball rolling already to look in the exact spot. Thank you for your response back. as you might have seen on Forrest Gets Mail, I think it's only time before it is found. I will return one more time to New Mexico when I get approved to search my site. What approval is required? I enjoy watching your channel. Is that it?
I don't know.
I enjoy watching your channel. Good day to you and Shelley.
Good day to you, sir.
Thank you.
Or ma'am, we don't know.
Did you find the...
Did I find no. Little Bit Fenny's here. Off Trail Jaeger.
So, Toby, please call me. As a matter of fact, I'll call him tonight. No
Alternate reality.
Okay, hi, Shelley and Toby. I have a solve that I was super pumped about until I realized no one has a reason to be only within 500 feet of my blaze. It's almost down this path. Would you abandon this solve, or do you think this could be a trick or a play of words by Fenn? Thanks, RJ. Continues with exactly 200 feet from a path people would take, so 200-foot searcher makes sense, but no reason for lots of people to stop at only 500 feet and not keep walking. Yeah, what he said was people have been within 500 feet. The impression that we get when he used that phrase is that it was not searchers that were within 500 feet. It was people, so. And that could be anything. For example, the example that I'll give you again is that the train, the Cumberson Toltec Railroad passes above our heads 500 feet from our search area. So those are people who don't care about the treasure, may not even know about the treasure, and are within 500 feet, assuming it was a Toltec gorge. That's just an example. Mr. Anonymous.
We got a cha-ching from Drawing Nigh.
Again?
$2. Didn't Forrest say solve was not circular?
He said you wouldn't find yourself switching back. I don't know if he ever said it was not circular, meaning that you start one place and end up back at the place. The question he got asked at Moby Dickens was, would you find yourself switching back? And he answered the question. He said, no. I think I feel comfortable in saying no, that you wouldn't be. So that makes sense.
Did you see the
circular? So I saw it, and then okay, Mr. Anonymous, I asked you guys know when Fenn said someone may have figured out the first 4 clues, and that was in. It wasn't in the New Zealand radio thing.
Not like it was in a Dale's thing.
Oh yeah, it was in Forrest Gets Mail on Dale Neisel's site. I can't remember which one, but if you go to Forrest Gets Mail, it's a response in there.
Or if you check in Terry's Can, it's probably in there as well.
And the other thing too, it was very he
non-committal.
Yeah. If you read the response, it was very. It's kind of like maybe
I'm not really sure about this.
I'm really sure about that. Yeah.
Sean Martinez says, Fenn has many tells, very subtle, but big to the trained eye. Question off time is only answered by asking first another question. Like the horse and the lightning one?
Wait, dang nabbit, Sean. You can't say stuff until you answer the question about what the horse said to lightning.
Dark Sight says, I have a green tint in my hair because of the green wall.
Yeah,
that's the problem with this color
green
hair.
Spains, yeah. If you have that kind of color of hair, if you have the light colored hair, it always picks up, unless you have 20 feet. You need a minimum, in order for the green screen to work correctly, you need a minimum of 8 feet. I've done a lot of work in this area. You need a minimum of 8 feet between you and the green wall, and we don't have 8 feet, we have about 6. So, that's why.
But
hey.
My hair's a little green. Just pretend I went swimming.
Yeah.
Chlorine.
But hey, where are you going to get a better green screen? I mean, let's face it, it's a pretty good looking green screen, brother. Okay. And besides, it's all there. It's not about the hair.
It's all about the hair.
It's
not about the hair.
So this is the same question. So your latest hypothesis is that it's hidden near Toltec Gorge in New Mexico. The last theory that we got to
We're
was
still
that
working on the latest
that
one.
it was hidden near the Rio de los Pinos before the Rio de los Pinos fell through Toltec Gorge. Yes. Voicemail.
Unfortunately, we're just not as smart as that one guy we got the email from who figured it out in a day and a half.
Yeah. He probably knows exactly where it is. It should be recovered soon. We should never worry about that. We've already got
I'm
plans.
surprised we haven't heard from him already.
We've already got plans for 3 new channels, none of which involves treasure hunting. So.
Yeah, well, because he's going to find that treasure any minute.
Hello, Toby and Shelley. In regards to 2 sidearms Forrest lost in the war, I suspect he still has them in his possession. You know what? A lot of us did that. I came home with a 45 caliber pistol that I would have had to return to the military, but I shouldn't do this on TV, right? I mean, on YouTube. He is not the type to release his weapon or make any mistakes like not getting the photos during the crash. He didn't give it up, in my opinion, even if it meant coming back at a later time. Thanks, guys and girls. Yeah, so one of the things about being in Vietnam is that you wanted to bring home some souvenirs of your experience there. And the military is real strict about you don't get to carry your weapon across unless you're flying out, from your departure point. That's the only time you're going to carry a weapon. And during the Vietnam era, you left the U.S. without weapons, and you were assigned whatever you were supposed to be assigned, either at the time it was an AR-15 rifle, maybe a 45 caliber pistol. You might have gotten an M79 grenade launcher, an M60 machine gun, but you got it, and then when you were leaving, you returned it because it had a serial number on it, and you had to return that weapon. It was yours while you were there, and then you had to give it back. But, for example, I once traded some Aussies. So the Aussies were not Aussies. They couldn't get beer, so we used to get beer for them. And what was really funny is they loved the beers that were like they loved per Black Label beer. It was just terrible, but they loved it. And even worse, they drank it warm. So what we would do is we would buy it, and then we'd go trade them for stuff. And one of the times that we were out on recon, we discovered a cache, a VC cache, but the cache was of these 9mm pistols still in cosmoline in oil that had been left behind. They had French markings on them, so the VC had captured them from the French, put them up. We found them, and the 9mm pistol was it was a Browning 9mm, and it carried 15 rounds. And at the time, I was carrying a 45, which only carries 8 rounds. So I swapped out my 45, put it in a drawer someplace, and started carrying the 9mm. The problem was the 9mm wasn't an Army standard at that time. So we had to get our ammo from people that did have that. Turns out the Aussies did. And what we would do is we would bring a case of beer over to the Aussies. We'd have to drink it with them while it was warm. And then they would give us a box of 9mm ammo in exchange. So the more beer we brought, the more ammo we'd exchange for it. That way I could keep my 9mm. Well, I wanted, since that wasn't an U.S. Army serial number weapon, I wanted to bring it back with me. And so what I did is I had a locker full, and I had some books that I wanted to bring back with me, so I hid it in the books. I covered it with the books, and I was able to get it back. That was before they started using, magnetic resonance to find what you had. They just opened the box. The guy saw, 2 layers of books. He thought the entire locker was books, and it wasn't. It was just 2 layers. And he said to me, "Are these all books?" And I looked down and I said, yes, those are all books. Meaning that the books that I saw were all books. And the 9mm was buried below that, so.
Anyway, who was it? Robert Zelensky wants to see a picture of you when you were in Vietnam.
Let's see. Hang on
where
just
you
a
can
second.
easily get to it.
I think there's one in the G drive. Let me see.
Well, Toby's
You can
looking for that.
do that.
Missouri Dave. AGK does not work to call attention to question. You must use a Gypsy Kiss. Mr. Anonymous. Oh. Well, that wasn't a question. He was just making a joke. He said, I figured it out in 17 minutes. What's the big deal? Lol. Just kidding. It was 30. Did we miss a question again?
From whom?
I didn't see a question. From Mr. Anonymous or somebody? Hey, if we missed your question, then we are sorry, and we will continue to look for it. But you might want to just type it out 10 more times, or just cut and paste. or
No,
something.
just send a text message to
Send a text.
866-597.
Do whatever it takes. We'll see it eventually. We're old. Give us a break.
I don't know how many pictures there. Let me see if I can look.
You always have it in your Facebook. Dee Dee says, "Great story, Toby." Now we all know you're a liar.
Is that what you said?
No, I said that.
Okay, let's see if I can do this. Oh, gosh. Okay, so this is, I don't know, can you guys see this? Hang on.
Joel Wiki, I'm very interested in your thoughts on the drawing and the thrill of the chase of the guy in waders with the stumps looking at a bird in a bush on the moon. Thoughts?
That is a question for Susie, because Joel, to be honest, we have not researched in any way any of the images, either the graphics or the photographs in, here's one.
Okay, Sean Martinez, what did the horse say to the lightning?
Did he do it
Wink,
again?
wink.
Hang on. Let me see.
Lightning.
It's a better one. I was in khakis leaving. Hold on. Let me see.
Has anyone ever said anything about a town or a creek in Montana called Nye?
Okay, I got a couple more, but let me see. Hold on, just give me a second while you guys are doing this. I could have sworn I had the one.
Susie Fenhaven, take a look at Joel Lewicki's question, just a few questions up, and see if you have an answer for him. That's why we said your name. Joel says, not research, thoughts on the meaning of the metaphor, if you've thought about it.
We have not thought about it. Literally, we have not invested any time in looking at the images or the graphics in the book.
That one will do.
You think?
Yeah,
Does that look Vietnamese?
it does to me.
Okay.
Especially that
so,
hat.
Let me see if you guys can see this. There you go.
You're such a kid.
So, yeah, that's me. I was probably around 21 there. That's a captured AK-47, and I'm up in a hotel in Canto. I had been given leave, and the biggest city in the Delta is Canto, and there was a agency, there was a hotel that had been commandeered by the agency, and so I went up there for a long weekend. And brought my captured AK-47 with me. So.
And somebody took a picture of you.
Pardon me?
And somebody took a picture.
Oh, no, I asked that picture. I was going to take that. I wanted that picture taken because that was my AK-47. Actually, it wasn't it wasn't a Russian AK-47. It was a Chinese copy.
Look at that jawline.
Of an AK-47. I must have weighed about 130 there, I swear to God.
Toby is posting news. No, he's not. His shirt's unbuttoned. It was hot and sticky there.
Yeah, Tom Sawyer, it's pronounced Canto. Canto, that's right. Because
Picture is very spicy and
spicy,
nice.
yeah.
All the ladies are getting a little
Spicy.
warm. Woo! How old were you? 21?
Let's see, that would have been 1970. So
Release the cougars.
Yeah, no. 1970. Yeah, I would have been 21, 22, 23. Yeah.
All right.
So.
James David, what did you think about what I said above? We think we didn't see it. Now we have to go looking for that. Oh, man. Come on, guys. We got to help us out. We're getting
Deep
old.
Thinker, thank you for your support. We appreciate it. Charles Chaplin, that's right, the Kalashnikov.
I am
Anton. Interesting. Holly's correct. It's Canto. That's right. It's Kenta. It's the way the Vietnamese pronounce it. I was Kate for Alexis texts in the middle of the night. Yeah, because I'm still up. I was actually assigned to a location, a fire base down at outside of a town called Kamau, which was much further south and very close to the coast. It's actually a nice little resort town now, but when I was there, it was a small village, and we were at a fire base nearby.
What I found from James David was, I am of Indian descent, and I feel in my heart this is a big clue. If this helps, I want in. I have no idea what that means. Do you?
Mm-mm.
Okay.
Thank you for your support, Robert. Okay, shall we open the phones?
Yes. To North, are you doing phone calls tonight? There are several people desperately
apparently
wanting
we
to talk, and there are only 40 minutes left. Oh my God.
Oh, wait. I do have, let me see.
Hurry up.
I think I have one more text message here. Let me just... So text message from, hey guys, it's Adrian again. My question is this. Since gold coins were taken out of circulation by the federal government in 1933, could they have claimed the coins once found in the poem wasn't contractual? Also, it says, if you're paid in a single gold eagle and you use them to purchase something else, then you won't be taxed. I don't know if either one of those are true. I know that they were taken out of circulation. That doesn't mean they can't be owned or purchased. They're still an investment, and there are people that have them for investment. So the idea that you would walk into a place and try to spend the gold coin, to me, doesn't make much sense, because the coin they would give you the coin value. So if it's a double eagle, it'd be at $10, as opposed to the numismatic value, or the Troy gold weight value, which is far more than what you'd get. So the best thing to do, if you get to that point where you have to make that decision, is and you're monetizing. I'm going to suggest you don't monetize it a coin at a time. That's the way you're likely to get the least amount of money. This is from 970. Remember, you guys, if you're texting us, make sure you at least use your name, your first name, and the location from which you are texting. Another newbie here is the Blaze White. It seems to be the color of choice for searchers. I think you're right. It is the color of choice, because in a conversation that occurred in one of the... What video was that? Was that the lure? There's a video out in which... what's his name? The guy with the white hair and the beard. David...
Desert File?
Desert File has a conversation with Fenn over white, and Fenn talks about the blazes on a blaze on a horse's forehead is white, etc., etc. I think if you were to ask any 10 treasure hunters what they thought the color of the blaze was, if the blaze had a color, 7 of them would say it's white. And that's in our case, we believe that the blaze could be represented by either the sun cast or a difference in geology, right? So it could be a white streak of quartz that travels through granite, because it has a the other thing that we believe about the blaze is that it has to have some sort of longevity associated with it, and that would make it geologic. It would be rock, not paper or scissors. Okay, ready? Got about 10 people calling in here.
Yeah, they're all waiting. And
phone lines are open,
Waiting and
866-597-9901. Call us and tell us what you think. Meantime, while we're doing that, I'm going to see if I have a better picture of myself more.
oh my goodness.
I'm kind of, let's see.
I have seen the blaze, and it is unquestionably white. It doesn't say.
Oh, good. Wow, you're way ahead of the rest of us if you've already seen the blaze.
Yeah, so where's the treasure?
Yeah, so where's the treasure?
Well, that's what we want to see.
Oops.
Let's see all the blazes you want. Do.
So we got a text.
Oh, the phone lines are open then.
Yeah, the phone lines are open, but I just got a text message. So.
Does Canyon Road in Santa Fe take you north or south?
Let's see. Neither. Canyon Road runs, well, it depends. It transitions, but it primarily runs east-west from where it intersects the Paseo del Norte. No, not Paseo. Paseo del... What's the Paseo in Santa Fe? Paseo del Norte is here. Paseo del... Saved by the Bell. It runs, because
Peralta?
Canyon Road, Paseo de Peralta, right. Canyon Road runs
Because I got a map of New Mexico in my head.
east-west, and then it turns slightly southwest, but it never runs north-south. Hey, you've reached Toby and Shelley. What's your name? Where are you calling from? And what's your observation?
Hey, Toby, this is Bloop.
Hey, Bloop. How are you doing, Bloop?
Doing great. I just wanted to start with, my background's been as a drifter, and I just wanted to learn a little bit more about your home of New Mexico.
Wait a minute. You said your background is as a drifter?
Yeah, I've been traveling for about 5 years straight.
Oh,
For the
really?
past 5 years.
And just out of curiosity, more out of curiosity, how do you support that?
Well, that's just my line of work.
Oh, so do you write a blog?
I get paid to do it.
Oh, you get paid to drift?
Yep.
Wow, cool
Ain't
job.
that the dream?
Like a digital nomad?
But it never took me to New Mexico, and I just want to hear some more about the state.
So New Mexico is an interesting state primarily because it is inhabited very distinctly by at least three cultures. The white culture, the Spanish culture, and then the Native American culture. But we have a big influence now from South Americans, South and Central Americans, including Mexico. So there's some of that influence here. It is a bilingual state. We speak both. It's kind of like being in Montreal where they speak French and English. So a lot of the people here speak both Spanish and English,
See.
including almost Shelley. And but we pride ourselves in our Spanish heritage. It was populated as early as the 1500 by the conquistadores. My family on the Delgado side got here in 1693, and there's a very strong Spanish heritage. Now, sometimes if you look at the history of the Spanish and the way they treated the Native American tribes at the time, it wasn't a healthy relationship. They did a lot of damage in the process. So, there's mixed
That's
feelings
pretty
about
cool.
that. But it has a very varied, in the same way that it has a varied culture, it has the influence of all these arts. The art that is produced by white artists, the art that is produced by the Native American tribes, and the art that is produced by the Spanish. And so that's all mixed up together, and you see a lot of fusion in those arts. And then there's fusion in the foods. So you'll find New Mexican restaurants and continental American restaurants and Native American foods. I don't know that you could find a Native American restaurant, but there are ways that you can get Native American foods, especially at times like Fiesta. So what makes New Mexico interesting is the fusion of the three cultures, as influenced by both South American, Central American, and Mexican immigration. And then it's varied. The northern part of the state is mostly mountainous. The southern part of the state is mostly desert, but it's a high desert. Most of New Mexico is above 5,000 feet. It's a relatively small state. Unfortunately, the only fault in it is that it's always been not well managed. And so whenever we're always ranked 49th in something, education and healthcare and things like that. That's the only regrettable part of it. But we have people who care about the state and who are trying to work to change it and make it a better place. But it's worth a visit. I would suggest that you visit, Santa Fe and Taos, which are the most, Santa Fe and Taos are the most culturally diverse and interesting. Albuquerque is it's the equivalent of a small big city. It's big city with all it primarily is driven by the federal government because we have a large base of research with Sandia Labs here. We have the University of New Mexico here, which is the biggest university in the state, and we also have Kirtland Air Force Base. So
We have a lot of film. in the state, and recently Netflix purchased one of our studios, Q Studios. We also have Facebook moving into a facility in Los Lunas. So we are growing in industry, especially high tech and film. We do have great film incentives. So we, as of course, Breaking Bad and Better Call Saul are very well known for filming here. But we also have tons of different movies because we can shoot any scene from anywhere from Afghanistan, looks like Afghanistan, all the way to looks like, Wyoming when we had Longmire shooting here. So, yeah. What else?
That's a very good description. We like it. I got away from it for a really long time. I mean, I was born and raised in Santa Fe, and I had the benefit of having a Spanish family growing up there.
We also have a very large hot air ballooning community because we have the largest hot air balloon festival every year, the Balloon Fiesta, which happens the first and second weekend of every October. So that is one of our major happenings.
Yeah. So,
Toby, can I ask you a question?
Sure.
When you took your break and you came back, what was the first thing you did? Just like the thing you missed the most.
So I'll be honest with you. That story was I wasn't planning to stay in New Mexico. I came back. I retired. I had just gotten back from Afghanistan and decided to retire. I was 61, and I came back to tell my mother that I was retiring to New Mexico, and she had never been happy about me living out on the East Coast. My brothers and sisters lived and died in New Mexico, and she was not happy that I had been on the East Coast. I used to come back and visit, but I was coming here to tell her that I was retiring to Costa Rica, and when I told her, she had a heart attack, and literally had a heart attack. So I rushed her to the hospital, and the doctor told me that she had about 2 weeks to live, so I got a hotel. She ended up living another 3 additional years. That's not a criticism. But by that time, I had an apartment and I had roots here, and I don't want to say dream, it wasn't kind of dream, my plan to retire to Costa Rica was gone. I was now living in New Mexico. I had roots. I had friends like Shelley and other members of the film community.
I thought I was asking about the break we took from a Gypsy's Kiss.
Oh.
That sounds a lot better than Costa Rica.
Okay. So I was here now with roots and friends and work and documentaries and just things. So I ended up staying here. So the thing that I live in Albuquerque, right? I've always lived in Albuquerque since I got back. And the only thing I miss about it is Albuquerque is in Santa Fe. I miss the art, culture, and people of Santa Fe. It's a vibrant, artistic, culturally vibrant city. So
cool. I'll have to make a visit.
You
Pretty soon,
please do.
Summer seems like a good time.
Let us know when you come into the area. All right.
Well, hopefully I can make it for Fenbury, but who knows?
Yeah, try. It'll be a lot of fun.
That sounds like fun. That's all I wanted to talk about today, Toby. Thanks.
All right, Blue. Thanks for calling. Here, so I have another picture to show you guys.
Joel Lewicki said, New Mexico has everything beautiful. Landscapes, tamales, Forrest Fenn's hidden treasure.
Yep. So wait a minute. Isn't that the guy that's searching in Yellowstone? So here's another, here is another Vietnam picture. So that's a picture that we took just before I left Vietnam one of the times. Jason, that's Pootie. That's baby Jason and my first wife, Kim. So, yep. So to prove that I was
There's
in Vietnam.
There's a phone call for you.
Married. Okay, got it. Phone call coming in. Oh, wait.
Answer the phone. Okay. Jeez.
Okay, hang on just a second. I've got to get back to our screen here. Okay. Some fun.
Do not ever ask Toby to see pictures.
Yeah, I got pictures.
The rest of the night looking at pictures.
I got pictures.
Who's home? Who's on the phone?
Hey, you've reached Toby and Shelley. What's your name? Where are you calling from? And what's your observation?
Shelley and Toby, this Mr. T.
Mr. T.
Mr.
Wanted
T.
to call in and say hi to everybody.
Well, that's very kind of you to do that.
been boots on the ground for the last 2 days. Hey, I just wanted to call in and tell everybody I've seen 13 bears in 2 days.
13 bears.
Morning, I had a 13. I had a very bad experience with a bear of the very large kind this morning, and my bear spray saved my life.
Wow.
Wow.
Where,
Okay,
if you don't mind,
So if anybody didn't hear that, he had an encounter with a bear this morning and used his bear spray, and it saved his life.
About a 500-pound grizzly bear with two blonde cubs, and I was talking, I was making noise, and I walked right up on her within about 50 feet, and she was leaning up against the tree, and she was scratching her back, and I thought it was somebody on horseback when I first glimpsed it, and then she seen me just about the time I seen her, and she hit the ground, and she was chomping her teeth. I had my bear spray out ready because I was walking through the trees, and I started backing up, and she just started coming for me. So I just started spraying, and I turned around, and I ran, and I just started spraying the bushes and everything as I was running. I just kept the trigger pulled and emptied the whole can, and I ran as far as I could. My chubby butt could run. And when I got through running, I turned around, and I go everywhere with a 45, and I pulled my 45, and I thought if she's standing there when I turn around, I'm going to let her have it. And she was gone. So, guys, take your bear spray. I'm telling you, it saved my life this morning.
So, in your opinion, when you sprayed the bear spray, not directly at the bear, but onto kind of your path that you were leaving from, you feel like taking that action actually had the effect of repelling the bear?
Absolutely.
So,
I seen her when she hit the ground. Go ahead.
I was going to ask, where are you? You don't have to give your exact search area, but generally speaking, where are you searching? Other than in a place where there's lots of bears.
Montana.
Southern Montana. Okay. So, so it was funny because she was doing that bear scratching thing. It sounds like.
Yeah, she was standing on her hind legs, scratching her back when I seen her.
Yeah.
And I seen her for about 2 seconds, and then she seen me, and she hit all fours, and she looked at me for about a second or two, and I immediately started backing up because I was just trying to create space. And then she started chomping her teeth, and then I noticed her 2 little blonde cubs right there, and I just thought she was going to start coming at me, so I turned and was starting to walk fast, and there she comes. So I just started spraying my spray back over my shoulder and behind me and the bushes and everything. I just
you were running
forward, but just kept my bear spray going.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, they say don't run, but man, I tell you what, that's tough to do when you got a 500-pound bear staring at you.
Right.
Coming your way.
Well, the natural, it's the flight or fight instinct. Nobody is going to stand there, point a bear spray can at a 800-pound bear and hold their ground. It's natural for you to want to run out of there and do what you you can to protect yourself and defend yourself. So I'm curious. I remember reading on the bottle that there is a limited amount of spray in that bottle. Do you know how long that spray will last?
Yeah. You know, Toby, it happened so quick. I ran probably, I don't know, maybe 100 yards back to the tree. By the time I got back to an open space where I noticed that, where I was running to, I mean, my can was already empty, but in that space of time, I don't know how many seconds it was. It was a few seconds because I gave probably about a 2-second blast before I even turned to run. And when I turned to run, I just kept the trigger down and was just running with the trigger. I was just, spraying everything I could spray.
Yeah. Usually for those guys, for those of you that are not familiar with, make sure you read the can. They generally have 4 to 5. Sometimes there's one can that I saw for $60 that had 10 seconds worth of spray. It is not a lot of spray. So you both have to, you have to make 2 decisions about whether you're going to use it or not. And then you have to make a second decision of what you're going to do with it. And I think you made some good choice. Well, obviously made good choices because you're not ending up as bear scan.
Well, thank God. I just, I wanted to call in and let everybody know, man, the bear's sick.
So how much longer are you going to be up there?
I'm on my way back. It scared me so bad. There was no way I was going to go back in there.
Yeah, yeah,
I mean, I'm pretty sure I know exactly where it's at, but you know, I got a bad heart anyway. My heart was pounding so bad that I thought I was just going to collapse right there when I drew my 45 out of my holster and I turned around when I got to the clearing. If she was going to be there, I was going to start pulling the trigger, but she wasn't there when I got there, so I just hurried my butt along and found a rock and sat down for a little bit. And I don't know, I just wanted to call in and tell everybody, man, be careful.
yeah.
Take your bear spray.
So a couple of questions. What kind of rounds did you have in your 45?
Jacketed hollow points or man stoppers. I don't know. It
Yeah.
probably wouldn't work too awful good with a 500-pound grizzly, but, you know, next time I might take my 44.
And then as you drew your weapon and aimed in the direction of the bear, were you comfortable that you were calm enough to really put shots on target?
Oh, I don't know. I was pretty comfortable I could pull the trigger, but I don't know if they would have been on target. I tell you what, it took me about 45 minutes to just sit down and just get my breath back and, you know, get back where my hand wasn't shaking so bad. I had to put my gun away because I thought I was going to pull the trigger just standing there holding.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
I was shaking so bad. So, I mean, it's guys, this scared the hell out of me. I've never had an experience like that. I don't live where bears live.
Right.
You know, and that was my first bad encounter with bears. I've seen bears before, but, you know, and I think the deal was is I just walked right up on her.
Right.
And she either didn't hear me or didn't know what I was or what, because I always talk when I walk through the bushes. So maybe she was scratching and just didn't hear me, but I got within probably 50 feet from her. And like I said, the first time I barely glimpsed her, it was so tall, I thought it was a guy on horseback.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. When they're standing up on their hind legs, they're huge. I mean, they're just huge.
Yeah.
Well, I'm glad you called.
You know, I just wanted to call in and say, be careful.
Mr. T, I'm glad that you called, and I'm glad that you survived the encounter and that you learned from it and that you did the best that you could with what you had. And it sounds like it worked, whatever it was. But I think it reinforces the value of if you're going into bear country, make sure that you're doing your best to make a lot of noise. Making a lot of noise is not necessarily enough to frighten these bears if they're not paying attention. This bear sounds like it was more interested in getting her back scratched, and then as she put down, all she's going to think about are those two cubs of hers.
Right.
Lots of noise, bear spray, and if you have more than one in your party, every one of those people should be carrying bear spray.
I was by myself.
Yeah,
too, so
yeah.
I know that's a no-no.
What I'm saying is, if you have more than one person in your party, every person should be carrying a can of bear spray.
Right.
So,
All right, just be safe out there, guys.
thank you.
Much respect to all.
Thank you for calling in. We appreciate the information.
You bet.
And we're happy
Bye-bye.
you're back. Bye-bye.
So we have a super chat from
From?
Drawing Nigh.
What?
Says spray proven more effective than gun with grizz.
Yeah.
That sounds like a headline.
And that is not unusual. The simple fact of the matter is that unless, first of all, if you go out with what most people do, which are relatively small caliber in terms of grizzly bear, 9mm pistols and 45s. 45 I was surprised to hear that. Most people go out with a 9mm. Even if you have man-stopper rounds, it's not enough to stop a bear unless you get a direct hit twice in the head and in the same spot, because their skulls are so thick that round is more likely to glance off the front of their skull than anything. The bear spray, carry the bear spray, lots of noise, don't go alone.
So anybody who missed tonight's show and is watching the replay, make sure you read the chat because there's some pretty funny stuff in there.
Hey, you've reached Toby and Shelley. What's your name, where you're calling from, and what's your observation, and have you had any bear experiences?
Hi, is this Toby?
It is Toby. And Shelley. Say hi to Shelley, too.
Hi.
Hi, Shelley. Okay, great. I finally got in. This is William Goswick, and I think a lot of people have been waiting on me to call you guys.
Oh, great. Even better. So, hey, you guys, William Goswick, who you've all been waiting to call in, is now on the phone.
That's right.
All right, William, the floor is yours.
Okay. Do you remember the Lorraine Mills interview?
Well, there were at least 3, maybe 4 of them. Which one are you talking about?
The one where Forrest Fenn was talking about, and I quote, as close as I can, I'm probably 85% accurate. He said, I have a friend here in Santa Fe that works 6 days a week. He's been out searching for the treasure 9 times. That would be 9 weeks every time he has a day off. And Forrest said, I don't know if he has found the treasure yet. He hasn't called me to let me know.
Okay.
And if you watch that, he's pretty much concluding to the fact that it's right there in New Mexico somewhere, or right close to Colorado. I mean, if a guy only has 1 day off a week to go search, and Forrest Fenn is going to sit there and say, I don't know if he's found it yet. He hasn't called me to let me know. Okay?
Yeah.
Okay.
So you think
So
that's
we're
an
close to
indication?
New Mexico, right there.
You think that's an indication
yeah.
that the treasure's in New Mexico?
Oh yeah, it's obvious.
Have you
It's
been?
obvious. If you go back to that interview and you watch that and you listen to the way he talks, he's real adamant about it's a possibility that his friends right there in Santa Fe could find that treasure in 1 day. Okay? Now, number one, you got to go there, okay? You got to go back to the interview and watch that, okay?
Okay.
Everybody listening, go back there and watch it. Okay, number one, simplify. Show it to a kid, okay?
We're
Now,
listening. You
if
go ahead. We're
simplify
just
it
gonna
and
let
show
you
it
talk.
Okay, simplify it and show it to a kid. It's so simple. We are so overcomplicating this whole thing. It's so simple. It's right now. We're all stomping on the ants while the elephants are running by. It's right in our face. Number two, when somebody finds it, everybody's going to be saying, why didn't I think of that? Oh my gosh. That was so easy. Why didn't I think of that? Okay. Number three, thread a track through the wilds of nature and circumstance. Okay? Has anybody Googled the definition of circumstance? Do you know what a circumstance is? Tell me your definition of circumstance.
You know what? I'm always hesitant to do that because I haven't Googled it, and I don't want to give you the wrong. So why don't you just keep going with what you're going? You're on the right track here.
Okay, circumstance. Definition of Webster's circumstance is a fact or condition connected with or relevant to an event.
Relative to a what? What was that?
Event.
What was that last word?
Event.
Event. Okay.
An event.
Yeah.
Thread a track through the wilds of nature and circumstance. Circumstance is a fact or a condition connected with, relevant to an event. Okay. T.S. Eliot, at the end of our exploration, will be to arrive where we first started in the place for the first time. Okay. All right. You've got the Thrill of the Chase book, right? Everybody's got it right in front of them. I told everybody to get ready. I was calling in, right?
I don't have it in front of us because
Open your...
we have to watch a show, but go ahead with the folks that do have the book.
Okay. Okay, open your book. Just open the cover. Look at the first thing. There's 9 pictures. Plus 10 counting the treasure chest. Everybody's already seen that the identification card under the cover of the book shows Forrest Fenn to be 17 years old, and it shows him at probably, I don't know what age that is, 5 or 6 years old, right?
Right, yeah.
You already know that, right, Toby?
Yes, I do know that.
Okay. Look at the pictures in the book. There's 9 pictures right there. Put the story together with those pictures. Go all the way through the book, read the entire book. Go to the back of the book, and you have the same set of photographs. Okay?
Okay.
And the last photograph is Forrest Fenn's father holding a trout right there. It's the last picture at the very back of the book on the bottom right. Okay, so let me go back through this. Lorraine Mills, Forrest Fenn's friend, at the interview, he said, I have a friend that lives here in Santa Fe. He only has 1 day off a week, and he goes searching for the treasure. I don't know if he's found it or not, because he hasn't called me to let me know. Well, if you watch that interview, you'll see his sincerity in that. How sincere he is. That's putting that treasure right there in New Mexico.
So,
We're right on the board.
So let me ask you another question. What is the relationship between that thought, the idea that his best friend is going out a day a week looking for the treasure, which you conclude means it's likely in New Mexico? Tell me how you relate that to the pictures on the inside of the covers. What point were you trying to make about the pictures on the inside?
Because I really believe that if you can figure out where that picture was took of his father holding that big trout on Monday, the 16th of September, I believe is what it looks like in my book.
Mm-hmm.
You're going to find the blaze right there. The whole thing. If you have the book in front of you, read the poem. Put in below the Homer Brown. There's the big brown buffalo Cody. Or wait a minute. Begin at where warm waters fall.
Mm-hmm.
There's big brown Cody the buffalo. The car crashing in the creek. Him losing his shoes. Take the canyon down. Put in below the Homer Brown. There's him and Donnie holding the big brown fish below his home. Just follow it all the way through. You can see his wife standing there at Fort Clark in the plains, seeing the end is ever drawing nigh. No place for the meek is Forrest Fenn sitting there on his knees, okay, with his hands on his side. You see the plane crash in the pictures with the end ever drawing nigh? I don't know. Oh my gosh, Toby. I am like, I might be a little bit crazy right now, but I'm telling you, I can see it all. I can see the whole story right here.
Well, we're going to let you play that out, and we appreciate you calling in and sharing that with us. It certainly gives us something to look at and figure out how we incorporate it into our search thinking. All right, Mr. T?
Just remember that T.S. Eliot at the end of our explorations will be the rival we first started in those places for the first time. It's kind of coincidence that all those photographs are in the very front of the book and they're in the very back of the book.
Gotcha. Okay. All right, sir.
Now,
thank you. Wait. I got to get on to, hang on. I got to get on to another call. Okay. We got one last call that we need to do before the end of the night. So I appreciate you calling in and giving us that information. All right?
Okay.
Let me get on to the next call. Thanks for calling
Okay,
in.
you guys have a good one.
You too.
Okay.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Okay. So I do have, I think we got time for one more.
Yeah, Mr. Anonymous says he's going to call in.
Yeah. What, is that from this show? Is that a note?
No.
That was from our previous show.
I don't even know why that says that.
Oh, okay.
I think that was from before.
I did get some text
I
messages.
sometimes write notes and then they just sit there for a while.
Let's see what we got. So that's our answered call. That was Mr. T.
Mr. T? No, the Mr. T ran from the bear. This was
Oh, okay, no. Oh.
somebody else.
Hmm.
William Goswick. PM on Gypsy's Kiss Facebook page. Okay, well, let's see if we can find it. Lucy.
Okay, wow. So,
Mr. Anonymous, are you there?
Is he not
Want to call
not
us?
checking in?
He was the one that wanted to call us this afternoon and we didn't have time.
Oh, okay. All right, I've shut down the phone lines. I think we're as close as we can to the end of our show tonight. We'll see you again on Friday at 1 o'clock. Then,
Right.
after our 1 o'clock show.
Is my show, The Softer Side, at 2:30, and we're going to have a whole new topic. And we'll be grilling Toby once again, so make sure you don't miss out on grilling the Tobster.
Grilling the
It's so much
Tobster.
fun. It's thesofterside.live. You can go there and subscribe now and click on the bell to get the notifications when we go live at 2:30 on Wednesdays and Fridays. And then after that show, of course, is our Friday Fandango. We'll be danging the Friday.
Dango in the Friday.
Fandangoing.
And we have a good night. We have a good time on Friday. I was looking, I had one more,
Picture of yourself you had to show?
yeah.
Yeah.
Do you remember it? It's the one
And-
I'm in Saigon, leaving.
Greg
leaving-
Keller, we hope you have. I'm calling Bo. He's trying to call Bo.
Bo.
Now I think he means.
Oh.
Greg Keller, you have a safe and happy trip on your
Oh, he's leaving
travels.
tomorrow, 6:15. Good luck, Greg. Keep us up to date. You can send text messages to let us know how you're doing to the 1-800 number.
All right.
Okay?
Anyway, so Friday, be back and write us some emails, send us some texts,
Oh, I found it.
and we will get to them Friday.
Okay, you guys asked for this, so you wanted to see Vietnam. So this is me, and I'm at the Hotel Intercontinental at, let me see if I can blow it up just a little bit. There you go. Hotel Intercontinental.
Mr. Anonymous keeps trying to
in-
call, and we
in
keep shutting him out.
Saigon, and it's one of the times I'm leaving Vietnam on R&R. I mean, could be R&R, it could be returning home for 30-day leave, but it was one of the times I was leaving Vietnam. So there you go. SS the Tobster, as Shelley likes to say. So I don't have a lot of photos from.
Mr. Anonymous says the line's going to voicemail. Well,
Yeah, it is. We'll take up calls on Friday and then again Friday night. And I hope you guys have had enough Vietnam pictures.
Me too.
Where's the picture of young Shelley?
yeah, we don't need to see that.
Yeah, I still have great teeth. Anyway,
My teeth got better over time. He's got worse.
Well, you get down the fiddle and you get down the bow. Kick off your shoes and you throw 'em on the floor. Dance in the kitchen till the morning light.
and
Thanks so much for being here tonight, for all your great questions, comments, texts, emails, voicemails, and phone calls. And for Humpday Hoedown, a Gypsy's Kiss, I'm Shelley Carney.
Louisiana Saturday night. Well, you get down the fiddle and you get down the bow. Kick off your shoes.
And I'm Toby Younis. Thanks for joining us tonight. We hope you had a good time. We'll try and make more room for calls on Friday evening, and we hope you join us then. We hope you have as much fun as we do.